Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao and this is One News Now. The low-pressure area, formerly Tropical Depression Amang, continues to move over southern Luzon. Based on its latest forecast track, Pagasa estimates the LPA to be in the vicinity of Infanta in Quezon Province. Metro Manila, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and Camarines Norte should expect cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. The rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. In line with that, the Social Welfare Department reports that Bicol and Davao have been heavily battered by Amang. DSWD Assistant Secretary Romel Lopez said that over 500 families are still staying in evacuation centers and that more than 10 houses were damaged. Lopez assures, though, that the DSWD is coordinating with other government agencies for monitoring and relief efforts.
Sa ngayon po, nakapagpamahagi po tayo ng mahigit 109,000 na halaga po ng humanitarian aid. Hindi pa naman po umaayos yung lagay ng panahon sa iba po nating mga lugar pa. Pero just the same, asahan po ng ating mga kababayan na patuloy po yung pagbibigay ng assistance.
Tropical Depression Amang has reportedly left at least 12 million pesos worth of damage to the agriculture sector in the Bicol region. Based on the initial assessment of the Agriculture Department, the biggest hits have been to rice, high-value crops, and livestock. The tropical depression also destroyed over 1,100 hectares of agricultural land in Camarines Sur and Sorsogon.
Mababawi mo pa kasi ito kasi mataas pa rin naman ang production natin. At again nga, nagsisimula pa lang talaga yung dry cropping, wet cropping season natin Officially, nag-start ng planting March 16. So almost nakaka 1 month pa lang tayo. So ayun, kaya pa itong kung sakaling matinamaan sa Bicol, pwede pa silang magtanim ulit.
We're going to pause for a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here. for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Philippines and the United States reaffirmed their mutual defense treaty at the ministerial dialogue between the two countries in Washington, D.C. Marian Enriquez with the details.
For the first time in recent years, Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, Defense Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., and counterpart Secretary Lloyd Austin held a 2+2 ministerial dialogue in Washington, D.C. Both parties reaffirmed the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, pledging mutual defense and support against any external armed attack. Among the issues raised was a territorial dispute in the South China Sea.
We all reaffirm today that our Mutual Defense Treaty remains the bedrock of our cooperation. The Mutual Defense Treaty applies to armed attacks on either of our armed forces, our aircraft, or public vessels, including our Coast Guard, anywhere in the South China Sea.
We redoubled our commitment to modernizing the Philippine-U.S. alliance, recognizing that our partnership will need to play a stronger role in preserving an international law-based international order.
The United States also committed to deepen existing partnership in key areas such as maritime security, intelligence sharing, and joint sales and solidarity patrols.
And we discussed plans to conduct combined maritime activities with like-minded partners in the South China Sea later this year. Our alliance is ultimately guided by our deep and enduring commitment to freedom. So we're not just allies, we're democratic allies.
The meeting was held on the heels of the opening of the biggest ever Balikatan exercise, which is being participated by over 17,000 troops from both countries. The U.S. and Philippines also committed to complete a roadmap for security assistance to the Philippines for the next 5 to 10 years. The United States says it's allocating more than $100 million in infrastructure investments for the new and existing EDCA sites. The palace has earlier announced the 4 new Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement or EDCA sites in the country, 2 of which are located in the northern provinces near Taiwan. China has already raised concerns over this, saying this would only heighten tensions in the region. President Bongbong Marcos earlier said that China has nothing to worry about as he will not allow the bases to be used for any offensive action.
Good morning.
Key government officials urged U.S. firms to invest in the Philippines at an economic briefing in Washington, D.C. Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan highlighted several factors that makes the Philippines an attractive investment destination. These include sustained economic growth, a young population, and recent structural and regulatory reforms aimed at improving the business climate. Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno also chimed in by saying that infrastructure development is at the front and center of the Philippines' growth strategy. Diokno added that the country is determined to sustain big investments in infrastructure for the next 6 years through public-private partnerships.
I can assure you, as my colleagues have done, that as investors, you have many reasons to look forward to these next few years as you consider opening and expanding your operations in the Philippines, one of the strongest performers in East Asia.
Now, the spectrum of industries that foreign investors can participate in has grown wider than ever before. The economic liberalization measures that the Philippine government has enacted in recent years have opened up key high-growth sectors to international participation.
And the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas could cut interest rates if the easing of inflation continues in the next 5 months. So far, the current rate is at 6.25% after the BSP introduced a series of rate hikes starting May last year to combat rising inflation. Rate hikes are being implemented to mop up excess liquidity by making loans pricier. As per the latest data from the Philippine Statistics Authority in February, inflation peaked at 8.7% in January, the highest in 14 years. One News Now will be back with the latest stories at 6:30 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.